One of the most well-known prophecies in Jeremiah is that he tells the people that the Lord has plans to prosper them, to give them hope and a future. And I think it's probably one of those verses that often is taken out of its context and misapplied by Christians today. It's not a blanket promise that anything we do as Christians, or any ministry we start, or anything that we do in our family, or any business venture that we go into, that the Lord is going to prosper that and make it successful. When you look at who that prophecy was originally addressed to, it was given to people that were in exile in Babylon. So they've experienced some very negative things in their lives. That verse obviously is not promising us that we'll never have trouble or never have problems. But what it was telling them is that the Lord had a commitment ultimately to do what was best for them. And I think that's the principle that comes out of that passage. When the Lord says that He's going to prosper them, our idea of prosperity may be wealth or health or everything in our lives going exactly the way we want them to. What God is more promising is that ultimately, even through this punishment and even through this discipline, God was going to bring good things out of that. The other thing we have to keep in mind is that the promise that was given to those people was also a promise that applied more to their children than to them, because they were going to be living in exile for 70 years, and the promise of restoration and the good things that God did for them wasn't necessarily going to be realized in their lifetime, and it was going to be something that happened in the distant future. So I think there's a very good principle there, that God is for His people, that God cares for us, God has our best interest in mind, but understanding what that means also involves keeping the original context in mind and who the passage was originally written for.